Hey guys, how we doing? So we're carrying on with these Dragon Ballogy. I keep calling them Dragon Ballology videos, but they're not. It's Dragon Ballogy. That's what Kage did. It's really fun for me to watch these because there's like, before he was confident, it seems like he was not very confident with these. Now when you watch him, he's like totally into it. But he started off with these Dragon Ball videos, and I really like them. Very informative. Dated. Because this was before Super, and it's intriguing to see these very informative and well-informed videos made before all the information that we have now. So I get why maybe some of you guys aren't on board with these, but a lot of you were asking for these when I first started doing Kage videos, so that's why I'm doing these, and you know, not saying anything, but the views aren't there. And the only reason I was doing these was because a lot of you were asking for these. But whatever, I'm enjoying them anyway, so it's fine. So let's do this. How power level... God, reading the title. How power levels work. Because they don't now. They don't. But let's see how power levels theoretically worked before Super. Is how I'm looking at this video now.
Hello, fellow Dragon Ball fans. How are all of you doing
See,
today?
even his mic's not that high quality.
Another episode of Dragon Ballogy. Today on Dragon Ballogy,
This
we'll be
is brilliant to see
discussing
how he
another of the most
started.
prominent parts of the Dragon Ball lore, power levels.
The next one I'm looking forward to is
the topic
censorship.
of power levels is a
That'd be good.
particularly interesting one because of how confusing it is.
It
Not
is
a whole lot is
confusing.
directly stated about power levels in the manga or the anime of Dragon Ball Z during the short time that they were used throughout the series, and as a result, there have been a lot of holes in the
Frieza
concept that
Saga,
fans will have to fill in on
Saiyan
their own.
Saga.
This has led to a bunch
After
of
that,
speculation,
really
as
didn't
you'd
matter.
expect, not only about how power levels work, but also about the specific power
Wow.
levels of certain characters at certain points.
Hmm.
Now, I don't want to dive too deeply into this without first explaining what a power level is. Granted, the term is kind of self-explanatory, so they don't really need an explanation.
Level of
but,
power,
hey,
lol.
Whatever, I'll go ahead anyway. So,
Love it.
a character's power level, in its simplest form, is more or less just a summarization of what that character's physical capabilities are.
Yeah, what they can do.
Inherently, power levels don't necessarily refer to the numbers produced by scouters, contrary to popular belief. Power levels can be read through many different means, and with many different units of measurement. The Z-Warriors read power levels by estimating the size of a target's key signature, Android 16 uses a built-in computer system to estimate power levels, Babidi reads them using a measurement called Kili, etc., etc.
So
Regardless of how a
different
character
ways of
measures
reading
power
it.
levels, though, the purpose is generally the same universally, to get an idea of how powerful a certain person is. Of course, the most popular method of measuring a power level is through the scouters of the Tuffles, and it is this method that most Dragon Ball fans
so
often
we're going with
associate the
Tuffles.
concept with. As far as this variant goes, a power level is a number meant to represent, as expected, how powerful a certain person is or what they are physically capable
What
of.
they can do.
Power levels are read through the scouter, which is an ocular device created
Oh,
by the
jeez.
Tuffles. Scouters
No
are used
chance.
for communication, mapping, and, of course, power level measurement, among other things. When the Tuffles were later exterminated by the Saiyans, the latter began using these scouters along with the rest of the Tuffles technology, and this technology was eventually even further spread to the Planet Trade Organization when the Saiyans were inducted by Frieza. Throughout the series, power levels were only really ever a major part of the story for
It was
two
cool
arcs,
that they
the
tried to do a
Saiyan and
backstory
Namek
on the
saga,
scouters
as
and
by
that,
the
but
time
whatever.
Cell came around, nobody felt the need to use a scouter anymore
Nope,
due to their
'cause they could
ability
just
to
sense
sense
it.
ki,
Yeah.
and quite frankly, scouters weren't really around
Because
anymore.
they
Now,
they
as I was
explode
saying
after
earlier,
too
power levels are
much.
incredibly confusing, and this is partially due to two things. The first cause is, like I said, how little was actually explained about power levels in the manga and anime, and the second cause is how they were handled by series author Akira Toriyama. While the in-universe creators of power
But
levels
he
were the
made
Tuffles,
stuff
the
up for
person who
too
thought of
well.
the concept in real life was the author and creator of Dragon Ball, Akira Toriyama. The reason he created power levels was what you'd expect. He thought it would be easier for manga readers to understand a character's power if it were represented in the form of a number. However, this created an issue.
Yeah.
Toriyama thought that if readers were given two concrete numbers showing the strength of two opposing characters, it'd make the series more boring because the audience would already know who the winner of the fight was.
Yeah, they've
For
got that, and
example,
it's like,
if
look,
Fighter A
but
had
then,
a power level of 10,000 and their opponent, Fighter B, had a power level of 5,000,
then
then it would be obvious
A
from
is
the
gonna
start
win.
that Fighter A would win the fight because
Yeah.
of their higher power
makes
level.
sense.
So to solve this issue, Akira Toriyama decided to give the Z Fighters the ability to lower and raise their power levels by manipulating their ki.
Yeah, so, like,
and
they can
that is
control
one
it.
of many reasons why power levels are so confusing.
Yeah,
Some
they're
of the
all
other
over the
reasons are
place.
as follows. Power levels don't have a defined measurement unit, and what I mean by that is it is never stated what number power level is capable of doing what. For example, something's weight is measured in pounds. 1 pound is very light as opposed to 100 pounds being very heavy.
Yeah.
Speed is measured in
Sonic
kilometers
the
per hour
Hedgehog.
or miles per hour. 1 mile per hour is relatively slow, whereas 100 miles per hour is relatively fast.
Right, okay,
With a power level, there's nothing like that. You don't know what a certain number inherently translates to. Again, going back to the previous analogy, a car moving at 100 miles per hour will move 100 miles per hour. 1 hour.
Yeah.
Whereas we, the audience, aren't educated on what a character with a power level of 100 would be capable of doing. Yes, it is possible to estimate what characters are capable of what by comparing their power levels, but there is still no concrete method of measuring what exactly a power level's number means. I think the largest reason power levels confuse the fan base, however, is the fact that scouters are stated to be unreliable by a handful of characters in the series due to characters suppressing their power levels. This has led some fans to buy into the misconception that power levels are by and large completely useless and unreliable tools for measuring a character's power,
right, where are you going with this?
Which simply just isn't the case. The reason scouters are said to be unreliable by characters that can manipulate their ki is simple. The numbers produced by the scouters are often too low. Most of the time, because a character suppresses their full power level, the scouter's reading is gimped, and as a result, the user of the scouter is misled and thereafter underestimates their opponent. A good example of this was when the Ginyu Force believed Goku's full power level to be only 5,000, when in reality it was 90,000. However, when a scouter correctly reads a character's power level, the number that is produced there is in fact a reliable tool for measuring a character's power, like when Captain Ginyu measured Goku's power level at 180,000 at the same time that the Ginyus thought his power level was just 5,000. Just because power levels can be very useful tools for determining just how powerful a character is doesn't mean they're perfect measurement tools. The issue with power levels is that there is a lot they do not account for, like speed, intelligence, technique versatility, skill, etc.
How is intelligence part of
issue
it? Well, I don't know.
Power level measurement, scouters, killing,
for power level.
What have you. So, in a battle, even if character A has a higher power level
I feel like
than
it sounds stupid saying how
intelligence
is part of it,
as long as they can
I
trump
don't
their
see how that
opponent in
is.
terms of skill. Of course, to get a better idea of how
power
levels work, we have to delve into their
strength,
actual
speed,
applications in the series.
physical
see
stuff,
what power levels
to me makes
were
sense.
applied to what characters at what point in the series. So, here we go. Power levels made their debut in Dragon Ball Z's very first manga chapter, when Raditz used his scouter to measure a random farmer's power level, which was Raditz 5. They were subsequently used as one of the series' key components all the way through the Saiyan and Namek sagas. The last power level ever recorded on screen was Trunks' heavily suppressed power level, which was, like the power level of the farmer that met Raditz, read as 5. Things started to get a bit ridiculous as the series progressed and the characters got stronger. There is an exponential increase in power levels from the start of Dragon Ball Z up until the end of the series, and I'll give you a list of confirmed power levels to give you an idea of what I mean. Raditz's power level was 1,200, Nappa's was 4,000, and Vegeta's was 18,000 in the Saiyan saga. Raccoon's power level was 40,000, Ginyu's was 120,000, and First Form Frieza's was 530,000. Frieza's final form, according to the Daizenshu, had a power level of 120 million at full power, and Super Saiyan Goku had a power level of 150 million. There are plenty of different sources with lists of various power levels for characters after this point, but most, if not all of them, are completely non-canon and unreliable. The most
there's no other readings, because no one has the scouter.
That lists the power levels of Cooler, Broly, and Gogeta, which I've seen a lot of people cite all over the internet. According to this V-Jump scan, Cooler's power level was 470 million in his fifth form. Legendary Super Saiyan Broly's is 1 billion, and Gogeta's is 2.5 billion. Now, this information would be pretty nice to have if it was accurate, but the issue is that it isn't accurate because these power levels are inconsistent. There's no way these power levels can be accurate, and I'll explain why. In the Cooler movie, Goku beat the shit out of Cooler after transforming into a Super Saiyan, and since Cooler's power level was 470 million, that means Goku's had to be a lot higher.
Yeah, it had to be,
it's never stated, but for the sake of argument, I'll just go with something as close to the original power level of Cooler as possible, and say that Super Saiyan Goku's was 500 million. Now, let's calculate
has to be. Hypothetically, you're right,
transform into a Super Saiyan 3 here. I won't worry about factoring in an increase in power due to training because I don't need to. Instead, we'll just find out what Goku's power level would have been if he had somehow miraculously gone Super Saiyan 3 against Cooler here. Like I said in the Super Saiyans episode, Super Saiyan 2 is twice as strong as regular Super Saiyan, so we double 500 million and find that Super Saiyan 2 Goku would here, without training between arcs or anything, fresh after his fight with Frieza, have a power level of 1 billion.
Wow.
Super Saiyan 3 is 4 times stronger than that, which would make Super Saiyan 3 Goku's power level at this point a solid 4 billion.
Damn.
The reason that makes no sense is because that, according to this scan, Super Saiyan 3 Goku would be almost twice as strong as Super Gogeta, and that's without factoring in how much stronger it got between the time of Cooler's Revenge and the time of Fusion Reborn.
Wow.
Obviously, Super Saiyan 3 Goku is not stronger than Super Gogeta because Nimble was obliterating
Super
Saiyan 3 Goku, while Gogeta managed to
and then they fused
him.
And then he got him,
So that's an example of how sources like the V-Jump are kind of inaccurate.
Yeah,
there are plenty of other sources that attempt to measure power levels across the series, like Dragon Ball Z Scouter Battle, Taiken Kamehameha, Dragon Ball Z Dokkan Battle, the pamphlet that came with the third Dragon Ball movie, Mystical Adventure, etc. But there aren't a whole lot that are credible. The best three sources are the actual series, interviews with Toriyama, and
watch the show.
And any other sources aren't really trustworthy in my opinion. The most official post-Frieza Saga power level reading that I can think of is the 100 quintillion power level that Golden Frieza supposedly had. The thing about that is that 100 quintillion was a pun, because when he was asked about what Frieza's power level is, the voice actor said something like, Frieza's power level would probably be 100 quintillion because he's a nice guy, and Naisu guy is a pun on 100 quintillion when speaking Japanese.
Oh.
So, you know, again,
right.
Not canon, not reliable.
Funny
of course,
random
there are
joke
also plenty
taken
of non-licensed sources that attempt to calculate Dragon Ball power levels, and when I say non-licensed sources, I'm referring to fan speculation. There are thousands of videos, forums, message boards, and that sort of thing.
So power levels just seriously didn't make sense anyway, so that's fine. I was just like saying like, but we're super, but like no, power levels are
what on the internet is the YouTube series made by Vegito1089.
Oh.
In any case, power levels are a pretty fun concept.
I'm not going to show those up.
Speculating about them is pretty fun, especially given how ridiculous some of the feats get near the end of Dragon Ball. All that said though, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Be sure to rate, comment, and if you haven't already, subscribe for more Dragon Ball content in the future. This has been Swag Kage, and I'll see you guys next time. Later.
Cool. Awesome. That was actually more entertaining than I thought it was going to be. Like, it just basically said what I thought it was going to, like, you know, I thought it was going to make sense, and then I was going to go, but super, but it just, like, power levels don't really make sense anyway. So that is fine. Good video. I'm looking forward to the next one. It's the final one, the censorship in Dragon Ball. I think that's the final one, isn't it? Yeah, censorship. And then I've done Dragon Ballogy for you guys, because you guys were asking for it for ages, but then I feel like people that were watching my videos in the past have just like tempered off, and then the people that I'm like now doing reactions to for, they've left, but it's fine. I'm still enjoying these videos. It's all good, and we're nearly at 6,000 subscribers. I'm only 20 away. I'm only 20 away. I'm recording this, so God, get your friends to subscribe. Only get your friends that will watch subscribe. I don't want people just like, you know. But yeah, that was cool. So thank you guys very much for watching. Click like, subscribe if I'm already. Leave comment. I've done that wrong. Oh my God, how do I do my intro? My mind has gone completely dead. I've got so much on my brain. Thank you guys for watching. What did you guys think of that? What did you guys think of this? Click like, subscribe if I'm already. Leave comments down below. Let me know as you're watching those few videos. And I'll see you guys. It's all you guys next time. Wow, that was so freaking awkward. Bye.